remember, he has a daughter. Every night when she lays down to sleep, she doesn't have her father. This is a very real thing. When I say George, you say Floyd. George! Floyd! 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 George!
We're going to get this truck started and get the marshals going. Stay in tight. They are going to look for any general principle reason to arrest you.
Black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter here.
Trans lives, they matter here.
We had to put an event together for today once we found out that Derek Chauvin had been released because of the negligence of the Hennepin County Prosecutor's Office. He kneeled on his neck with confidence, with pride, and with joy. And it's with that same confidence, pride, and joy that we should be seeing him kept behind bars.
Cortez Rice, George Floyd is my uncle. I walked from where my uncle was murdered at August 6th to Washington, D.C. I got there August 27th. Along the way, I've endured so much racism. People calling us niggers, people throwing boots at us, people trying to hit us with cars, people shooting at us in Bedford, Pennsylvania. It's ridiculous.
Black lives, they matter, yeah!
Black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter, yeah!
Black lives, they matter here.
Nigger lives, they matter, yeah!
Black lives, they matter here.
The officer who killed Justine Demond is in prison today. The officer who killed Jamar Clark is not. The officer who killed Philando Castile is not in jail. And it's showing us how they value, what type of value that they're putting on black lives.
Montez Lee. He's a 25-year-old black father of two, and he was arrested over 4 months ago, but has yet to have his first court appearance. He is not the only protester that's sitting in jail with no option to bail out. Just as hard as we fight to keep these killer cops, to lock them up and hold them accountable, we have to fight to free our people.
How do you spell racist?
MPD!
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 Hey, hey!
We got a mass murderer running the streets right now, courtesy of the Hennepin County Attorney's Office. These folks that are facing these federal charges, Montez Lee and others, they are facing 20 years in prison, which is longer than the sentence that Derek Chauvin is facing. Every time something like this happens, they got two choices: fix the underlying cause or use state repression to tamp down the uprisings. We are not gonna shut up. We are not gonna sit down. We are not gonna back down till you back the down and rein in your motherfucking goddamn cops. And while you're at it, start by putting that serial killer in a prison and keep his ass there.
They want to teach you their definition of peace. They want to teach you their definition of history. They want to teach you their definition of civil. And they want to teach you their definition of what it means to be a human.
They called the 275 bodies into this city to take control of it, 100 of them being the National Guard. That's tens of millions of dollars that they gonna put the fucking unhoused people in the first place. The city council is not going to pacify this movement. The seats are going to be flipped. Black women are running for seats right now. How can you start showing the fuck up for people, shutting the fuck up, and starting to cape for people that have melanin in their skin and need allyship right now?
How are they going to arrest 51 people last night and let a mass murderer go? It is not right. It is not right. Those 51 people were exercising their First Amendment rights. Derek Chauvin murdered a man. We've been demanding community control of the police. That means people like us get to decide who polices in our neighborhoods. They get to decide the budget. Year after year, we're demanding this change, and they've done nothing.
Convict, send those killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell.
You better remember Wade Reyes. He was killed by Chauvin too. You gotta remember Leroy Martinez, he survived. So when they're talking about serial killer, he really is a serial killer. We've been fighting terrorism and genocide since 1492. We all need to stick together out here. This is the tip of the iceberg. You think that what happened in the past couple months was bad? Just wait till March.
My name is Samaya Aiden. I'm the younger sister of Isaac Aiden, who was murdered by 4 officers from Bloomington and 1 officer from Eagan in Eagan, Minnesota on July 2nd, 2019. I have lost all faith in the system. Having been in this, challenge yourself to educate yourselves more, because at the end of the day, they had lives, they had families that are still out here, that are still grieving, that haven't received the justice.
This is the Minneapolis Police Department. They don't care about us. They don't care about killing us. They don't care about locking us up, as we saw last night. There is no trust. There's nothing to rebuild. We just need them to be torn down. And we start with something fresh and new, because this is not for us. It never was, and it never will be.
Day after day after day after day, somebody tries to close their eyes and find some peace, but they can't, because somebody has murdered their loved one. When we chant no justice, no peace, we're serious about that. It's not just about making noise. It's about making a tone that resonates in their soul, so that every time, even when we're gone, they continue to hear, George! George! George!